Joyous holidays, fellow human beings. Nic and Mark, my response. Nic, first of all, thank you for prioritizing safety by making your response video in a non-moving car. Much appreciated. That makes me think of an ancient book. That ancient book is called Tao Te Ching. And the embodiment of that book is a practice called Tai Chi. And in Tai Chi, safety is the number one rule. And in my opinion, it's the only rule needed. I have found my inner peace from understanding what safety means. The embodiment of Tao Te Ching, Tai Chi, ancient book. There are many ancient books of wisdom. In the section of the library under ancient books, there would be a Bible, a Quran, the Vedas, spiritual books, and Tao Te Ching. Now, quoting ancient books does not equal understanding of those ancient books. I will not bore you with quoting Tao Te Ching, because that would not show that I understand the wisdom of the book. Now, Tao Te Ching is much like a Bible, or a Quran, or Aesop's fables, in that it is attributed to Lao Tzu, a mystical figure. But we don't know who wrote Tao Te Ching. There's no consensus. It's a mystery. So it kind of correlates with a Bible there. Ancient languages, ancient manuscripts, ancient interpretations. It's all guessing because it's ancient and we don't have the ability to speak with the authors or even know the authors. Books are a compilation of symbols that humans have chosen, which makes the transfer of knowledge much easier. Storytelling is the easiest way to transfer information from one human to another. If I give you a telephone number, just 9 digits, 10 digits, sorry. 10 digits, if you just try to remember those 10 digits, it's not as easy. Whereas if I tell you a story, or if you make a little rhyme out of it, that helps to remember. That's transfer of information. Books are just methods of transferring information from one human being to another. There is no wisdom in a book, only those symbols that humans have chosen. And humans agree upon what they mean. So let's do a little thought experiment, the foundation of Christianity. What if a being snapped their fingers, a Thanos moment, or a mystical being like a god, snapped their fingers and every single book on the planet disappeared instantaneously? Would everyone forget their names? No, they wouldn't. That's because information, wisdom, is stored on human brains, not in books. The ancient books that I mentioned, they would be in they would be in the storybook section of a library. In the reference section of a library, there would be a dictionary. Now, a dictionary is a set of rules telling us what those little symbols mean, and all humans agree upon it. And so they create a dictionary. And in a dictionary, there are words like emotional. It has a definition. Attachment has a definition. And those definitions, they can drift over time, right? They're not rigid. No stories are rigid. No stories are rigid. Every story drifts, just like memories. It's called memory drift. Getting back to dictionaries and meanings of words. If you take those two words and put them together, you now have a concept, emotional attachment. Many people get emotionally attached to books. Emotional maturity. Nic, you mentioned maturity, right? Spiritual maturity. Not really a thing, not really a concept, kind of vacuous, kind of smoke and mirrors. Emotional maturity, right? That's kind of what you mentioned with the 82-year-old and the 17 or 13-year-old you mentioned before, right? Emotional maturity. That's a good maturity. Intellectual, it's a definition in the dictionary. Dishonest is a definition in the dictionary. You put those two together, you have this concept, right? A Bible study. Mark in our DMs I mentioned, let's do a Bible study. In the very beginning, let's do a Bible study. I've done a lot of Bible studies with biblical scholars. Shockingly, many of them are atheists now. I wonder why. If we do a Bible study together, Mark, I'm going to use a dictionary. You can use whatever version of a Bible you want, but I'm going to have a dictionary with me. I'm pretty sure in a dictionary, there's going to be a definition of certain words, like slavery and other words. In a Bible, there's an evolution of the characters, like the character of God. It evolves, right? One minute he's walking with Adam in the garden. The next minute he's talking from burning bushes. The next minute he's up above the firmament. There's definitions to every single one of those words. You put them together, they make these concepts. I understand the words. I understand the concepts, right? 1977, sitting in the Burger King. I've always known I was adopted. Always known. There was no aha moment, right? An epiphany moment, Nick, is when, like Daryl McDonald from Run DMC, at 18 years old, he was sat down by his parents, and his parents told him, Daryl, you're adopted. And he was like, I knew it, right? That's an aha moment. But a now moment is right now, and right now, and right now. Everything's a now moment. There are some very specific now moments that would be called an epiphany moment, okay? Saul's epiphany moment was kind of like Daryl McDonald's. Aha, I always knew I was adopted, okay? So sitting in that Burger King in 1977, and I don't remember if it was 1977, if I was 7 years old, or it just makes the story a little better, right? So I add a little flair to a memory, right? A little story. Makes it more interesting, right? That's what happens with memories. We add to them. We subtract from them. They get added to, yeah. I always knew I was adopted. Parents make a lot of bad decisions when they're stressed, right? And so they tell stories. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. He's going to find out if you're naughty or nice, right? But when you do a quick Google search, there's no recovering from Santa Claus on the internet. But there is a recovering from religion. Because children's minds are incredible. Human minds are incredible. They make imaginary things so vivid, so real, that some children are scarred because the imagination is so strong. And they create hell on earth. And so they get anxiety and other things. Hell on earth. Gaza is hell on earth. Gaza and Palestine, right? An open-air prison. Death, destruction. All from storybooks. 2 storybooks, to be specific. Humans can create hell on earth, right? That's why you need recovering from religion. Generations and generations and generations of fellow human beings are destroyed now because of emotional attachment to a storybook. Christian persecution, Mark. Christian persecution. Right? Attacks and violence. I think if we look at Gaza, we know what a true attack is, what a true assault on someone is, right? Christians are always complaining about the persecution when, it's no. Mark, due to indoctrination, emotional attachment, intellectual dishonesty, Christian persecution stories, you interpreted the video I made as instructing. I was instructing people to do things. I was ordering them to do things. That's what you heard. That's not what I said. You did ask a good question, though. What if they didn't come up with a list? Then the video wasn't for them. I'm running out of time, so I have to speed this up. So, I'm a cradle atheist, no attachment to books, no attachment to memories, no attachment to stories, because I have a deep appreciation of the human condition. My tribe is my fellow human beings. That's what I start every single video with, yada, yada, yada. Let me wrap this up. To wrap this up in a bow, I stated my goals: safety, the reduction of unnecessary mental suffering. Nic, Mark, I think your goal is to promote a book, your self-chosen labels, Christianity. If I'm incorrect about that, clear it up. But I'm really running out of time. Have a good evening. Have a good day. Enjoy. Be safe. Comfortable. Bye-bye.